Hello everybody. In this video, let us discuss another interesting and important command in Splunk, that is dbinspect command. A dbinspect command is used to find the information or to find the status of the buckets that are available in Splunk. So this helps to understand where the actual data resides in the particular bucket and henceforth to optimize the disk usage as required as well, right? By using this particular dbinspect command. So as already you will be knowing, the data in Splunk will be ingested through several pipelines or queues, just like the parsing queue, merging queue, typing queue, and indexing queue, and henceforth the data will be flowing into the particular buckets in Splunk, which are hard bucket, warm bucket, cold bucket, frozen bucket, like that. So we will be discussing the entire data life cycle of the particular data ingestion flow in a different video. So in this video, we will be discussing about dbinspect command. So as we have discussed, we can always find where the data will be residing in which particular bucket, and henceforth we can also optimize the disk usage as required by using this particular dbinspect command. So now let us see how to use this particular command. So in order to do that one, let me go to my Splunk interface. So this is my Splunk interface. I'll be giving my credentials over here. So this is the home page, and once if I click on the search and reporting app, which is the default app, so this is my SPL editor where I can always give my SPL queries. So here, so this dbinspect command is a generative command in Splunk, just like the commands like tstats or input lookups, which are generative commands as well. So what do you mean by generating command? We need not give the default fields and we need not the search the query. Okay, so if you want to search anything, first of all you have to give index source type, like that, right? Then only you can always make the other commands, you can always make use the other commands and you can search. But okay, as we have discussed, this is a generative command, so we can directly give a pipe symbol and we can always use dbinspect as the particular command, right? So now if I want to use this particular command, so I can always specify a index name. Okay, so index will be the parameter for this dbinspect command. If I say index, for example, if I want to search wherever I have indexed my earlier data, so index equals to some net underscore index. Okay, so or else if I want to search along with this index, other index also where I have already ingested, so if I say index equals to some prices underscore index, so I want to dbinspect these particular indexes. Okay, so prices underscore index, if I say, so now if I search for all time and if I search this one, sorry, there are some unbalanced codes over here. Okay, so let me search. See, this will be the particular information we will be getting whenever we search with this dbinspect command. So if you see this information, whatever Splunk is providing over here, so first of all we'll be having the bucket ID. So this is the particular bucket ID we will be having, where this includes the index name and the actual ID, okay, where the bucket will be having, and the GU ID as well. A combination of all these things, it will be forming a bucket ID where it will be a unique ID for the particular bucket. And the end epoch is another field we will be having. This is the end epoch is the field where the first event that has got into the particular bucket, it will be indicating with this end epoch field. Okay, so it will be giving in form of a epoch time format. This is timestamp actually, where it will be providing in terms of epoch time format. Okay, And again event count, so how many events are in that particular bucket. So this is the GUID, global identifier, okay, global universal identifier. Okay, this is the particular ID. So with this one only it will be creating the bucket ID. So if you see over here, see, it will be using this particular GUID as well, along with index name and the particular ID of the particular bucket. And again host count, so how many hosts are there in this particular bucket, how many host data is there in this particular bucket, also it will be showing over here. So the bucket we are talking about is the particular, yeah, so this is the particular bucket, and the state it will be showing whether it's a warm bucket or it's a cold bucket or hot bucket, like that. Okay, ts ids state also it will be showing. So it is either full, so we can always find, okay, whether the state, the particular ts ids state is full or it is not full. So TS-IDS state is means what? The index data will be having two types of data, right? One is the raw data, other is the index data. This index data state, okay, this index data, is it full or not full? We can always find the particular information over here. And again, if you see the other things, we can always find the index name, where which index data is available in this particular bucket. Of course, we are searching with these index names only, so that's why we have got these two index names. And mod data, so what is this mod data? Whatever the data that you have modified, okay, the timestamp here, this timestamp will be in terms of human readable timestamp only. In the human readable format itself it will be providing, not in terms of epoch time format. Okay, and the path of the actual bucket from where it is getting the data, so that will be displaying. And the size of the data also you will be having, so this will be the size of the raw size. This field will be having the size in bytes. Okay, this will be the size of the data in bytes. And size on disk space, okay, size on disk, this will be the in MB. So it will be calculating in MB and it will be providing over here. Okay, this will be the size on disk in MB. Okay, and again source count, how many sources are there in the particular bucket. Okay, so that information will also be there. How many source types are there in the particular bucket, that information will also be there. And which server, okay, that particular private IP address of the Splunk server that bucket is having. Okay, so which bucket we are talking about, this is the ID, actual bucket ID. Okay, so that is the thing. And what is the what server is what server data is included in the particular bucket, that server's private IP address will also be displayed over here. And start epoch, just like end epoch. Okay, so end epoch means the ending event, whatever the ending event is there, that particular timestamp. And similarly, whatever the starting event, the first event is there, that particular timestamp it will be providing over here. And as we have discussed, this will be the state of the bucket. Okay, so this is the warm bucket, cold bucket, like that it will be providing. And TS-IDS state as well it will be providing, whether it is full or not full. Okay, so these are all the information that will be providing whenever you search with the dbinspect command. So if I want to get all the indexes dbinspect data at a particular point in time, then what I can do, I can simply remove this one and I can put star over here. But this is not a good practice, because I want to show to you I'm searching. Otherwise you can always search index wise as well. Okay, see, like this we can always get all the particular data, because this is this instance, okay, does not have more data, right? So it has put the data immediately over here. Otherwise it's not a good practice to search with index equals to star always, right? So we'll be having the particular information of all the indexes right now. See, all the internal index, audit index, whatever the internal indexes are there, along with my indexes wherever I have defined. User defined indexes will also be there, because I have put star. If I go to second page, see, my net underscore index, price underscore index is also there over here. Okay, so like this you can always search. So this is the output we'll be having whenever we search with the dbinspect command. These are the particular fields we'll be having. So now if I say, if I want to have the count of the particular buckets, okay, so if I want to have the count of the particular buckets by index, okay, for each index how many buckets are there, if I want, what I can do, I can always extend this a bit with a pipe symbol, stats count by index. Index is a field we have, right? So by index I'll be specifying over here in the by class, so that if I search with this one, see how many buckets are there in each of the particular index. Okay, in each of the index data is occupied in how many buckets, it will be displaying over here. Okay, we can always get this information as well. And again, if I want to have the total size of the buckets, okay, by index itself, okay, if I want to have, so I can always get that information as well. So size of the buckets already it is giving, right? We have seen the particular field over there. So what I can do, I can always use a stats command over here, and if I sum the particular, we do have a field, right? Earlier we do have a field called size on disk MB. Okay, so if I search over here, we'll be having the field called size on disk MB. Already we have seen. Yeah, see, size on disk MB field is there, right? So with this field, I will be summing so that I will be getting the total count, right? I'll be getting the total count. So stats sum of size on, we have to put like that only because field names are always case sensitive, MB. Okay, so I'll be taking this name as, because we are getting the total size, right? Total size MB, some total size MB, like that I'll be putting the name. Okay, by what I will be, by index. Okay, by, for each index I'll be finding the total size in MBs. Okay, so I will be giving this particular information. Okay, and now I'll be searching over here. See, this is the total size by each index we'll be having. And again, if you think that we can always, after decimal places, we can always bring to 2 decimal places. So what I can do, I can always use a eval command over here. So eval tot size MB equals to round of tot size MB comma 2 I'll be specifying, so that it will be rounding to exactly 2 integers after the decimal places. So now if I search this one, see, like this we'll be getting. So this is the total size in MB for each index that is occupying in the particular buckets. Okay, we can always get this information as well, because we do have the fields generated by Splunk, right? Whenever we, why we are able to search all this information, because we are using this particular command dbinspect. So now this is what data, this is the information we do have for all the buckets. So if I want to exclude some buckets, for example, say I do have warm bucket data, hot bucket data, like that, right? So I don't want hot bucket data, or else I don't want warm bucket data. So only hot bucket data I want. So I do have only warm and hot bucket data only. Okay, so I do not have cold bucket data. Okay, so if I want to exclude that warm bucket data, if you see over here, I will be having only hot and warm bucket data in my indexes. Okay, so warm bucket, see, everywhere we'll be having warm buckets, hot bucket. Even if you go to second page as well, we'll be finding hot bucket and warm bucket data only, but not cold bucket data. So now my intention is that I want to get only hot bucket data and not warm bucket data. So how I can get that one? I can simply say, I can simply extend again with a pipe symbol over here. I can say search as the particular command, and I can say state. This state represents the, whether it is hot bucket or warm bucket or cold bucket, right? So I can always use the command, I can always use the field state equals to hot. I don't want warm buckets, right? I want hot buckets. So I'll be saying state is equals to hot only, and now I'll be searching because Splunk is providing. Okay, so why we are how we are searching all these particular things? Because by using this dbinspect command, because Splunk is providing all these fields. See, which are the which is available in each bucket, whatever the data, what is the state of the bucket. Okay, all these fields are available. Whenever we are searching with this particular dbinspect command, we are able to search all these kinds of information. So now if I search with this one, I will be having only hot bucket data. Okay, instead of both the data, so we'll be having only hot bucket data. So like that, whatever the bucket data we want, we can always get the particular bucket data, and in this case we are getting it by index, right? This is another thing that we can always do. So various options you will be having whenever you use this particular dbinspect command. when it comes to buckets, right? And again, another important thing is that we can always find the corrupted buckets as well. We can always find the corrupted bucket. So if I remove this one, so you will be having a parameter called as corrupted only. Okay, so corrupted only is a parameter. So by default this is false, this parameter is false, this property is false. Okay, and you can always put as true, you can always put as true, then only you can get the correct information. So which information? The earlier information only will be getting, what are the fields that we have seen, but for the corrected buckets. Okay, so now if you search over here, okay, so you will be getting all the information. Of course the corrected reason also will be getting. Okay, so all the other information along with the corrected reason and all you will be getting. So now if I search, okay, the information is same for the other information is same as we have seen for the dbinspect with index only, without using this corrupt only parameter. Whatever we have seen the information, the same information will be having over here. So now if I extend this one with a table command, okay, and if I say index, okay, bucket id, state, bucket id is a field we do have, right? So state, okay, tsidx state is also there. Okay, so yeah, whether we want to find out some information, okay, so whether it is full or not, txidx state, so this field also will be including. And correct reason is also there, right, over here, correct reason, tsidx corrupt reason is also there, so I'll be including that one as well, corrupt reason. Okay, so this is not id, this is tsidx. Okay, so this information I'll be putting over here the field names, because I want the index field name, bucket id, I want the state of the particular bucket, the bucket full status, okay, whether it is full or not full. Okay, this tsid status also I want to get. Okay, and corrupt reason, what is the reason of this corrected buckets. So if I search with this one, see, I'll be getting, these are the corrected buckets, 6 buckets I do have. So where the state of the buckets are all in hot only. Okay, so and everything, this the tsidx files are in full state itself, and this is the correct reason actually. Okay, cannot get slices, data count. Okay, so like that we can always find the particular corrupt buckets, and the reason why it is corrupt also we can always find. Okay, so this is the particular things, okay, that we can always do with this particular dbinspect command. Okay, and the same command, right, we can always use it from the backend just like any other command, of course. Okay, you can always go to the particular backend over here. Okay, so let me open my terminal. So this is the particular, okay, I have already copied the sss command over here, and if you go to the terminal, so I'll be going to the cd documents / pem files location, because my pem files are available over here, and I'll be putting the sss command whatever I have copied in my AWS interface. Okay, so now if I press enter, I will be connecting to my Linux machine to actual server. Okay, so now I'll be taking super user permissions, and I'll be going to my bin folder where I have to execute the commands, right? cd root opt / splunk, this is my Splunk home / bin I will be saying, and I'll be going to this particular location, and I'll be giving the command /splunk search, right? So I can always put, we can always, because this is generative command, I can put a pipe symbol, and dbinspect, I can always say dbinspect, so index equals to some net underscore index if I give over here. Okay, and we should also specify a timeline, right, because in the web interface we have used the timeline. So span is the particular property we can always use, and I will be saying 1d, some for 1 day. Okay, so now if I search this one, okay, see, we will be having the particular details as well. Okay, from here also you can always search. Okay, So like this, by using dbinspect command, we can always get more information, okay, for the buckets, and we can always find, so actually where the bucket, where the data is residing in each bucket, and also we can see the disk usage and all, okay, and by based on this one, we can always optimize the disk usage as well. So hope this is clear for everyone, okay, and we'll be meeting in another video with another topic. Until then, have a great time. Bye bye.